yeah. Walked in when I was a young king. Shawty, you were trying to run on me. I've been going on my own. I've been doing things unknown. It's the day one, you running right back. See the drama, you running up track. It's a one life, you tell me one. One time, you tell me one time. Open your eyes, baby. Can you be quiet, from a Friday, babe? I'm on the way, I'm on the front, baby. Leave me alone, take it back now. I put you on it. Say you want just to what it turn me up, you know what it back. Turn you around, take it my way. Tell me what you need from me now. I know what you need to be now, cause I'm done with it now. No more damages now. Say, tell me what you need from me now. I know what you need to be now, cause I'm done with it now. No more damages, no more damages. Back then when I was a baby girl, I was yours and you want my world. Tell me what you wanna do for me now. Take it down and I will hold you to run my race, cause you run it back there. Run my race, cause you take it back there. I've been down, I've been running back there. I've been out, cause you take it back there. Pull up tonight, I might be risky. Body stomach, forget the whiskey. But you still wanna get back with me. You trying to be
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am the Bougie Herbalist, but you can call me Tiara. So as you just saw, I shared a little of what my morning routine looks like. That's just part of it. Those are the practices that I try to implement during the week and prior to my family rising, because once they get up, then I kind of jump into getting the little ones ready for school and getting them out of the house. So I try to start the day with some tea, depending on what time the day starts. There are some days where I leave the house and I'm actually in the gym. So on those days, I tend to do more of a pre-workout than tea. But if I'm in the house, I try to start my day with tea. Today I did, what did I do? Peppermint and, I can't remember. I think peppermint and eucalyptus. I think. I can't remember. But I'm a huge fan of peppermint tea. Like, that's my go-to all the time. So every day I am trying to engage in some form of movement. So it is either yoga, or I'm on the Peloton, or I'm in the gym. But every day doing a form of movement, and then meditation and journaling. And all the days are not perfect, but I try to make this a routine as much as possible and trust that I can tell the difference when I don't. I really feel off and out of alignment. My routine is so important for me because it helps me to hold space for myself before I start the day, holding space for other people. So if there are things that I'm sitting with that I haven't processed yet, and then I start holding space for everybody else, I find myself feeling like burnt out and overwhelmed. So in my meditation, or if I'm just reading, or if I'm sitting in silence, usually anything that's kind of lingering around, it comes up, and I can give myself the opportunity to process it. So I'll share about what came up today. So fatherlessness is a thing that I've been sitting with just this past week, and then it's no coincidence that last night I was watching Kelly Rowland's interview on that Angie Martinez podcast, and then I watched her interview with Usher, and it was just super heavy, you know, especially the one with Kelly. She was talking about her relationship with her dad and how they reunited after 30 years and they just had this beautiful love story. And Angie Martinez was saying, she was sharing her story and how she hoped to have that same story with her dad. She reached out to him after hearing Kelly's story, and it was the complete opposite. Her dad didn't want to have anything to do with her. So it's not specifically because there are stories that it's heavy in my spirit, but earlier this week I got notice that my grandmother passed away, my dad's mom, and it was kind of heavy on my spirit. So I've never had a relationship with my dad, and I was able to really release that and heal from that wound in therapy a few years ago. It was so helpful because prior to that season in therapy, I really struggled with that void, just feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling like I wasn't worthy of his love, and that there was something wrong with me because he didn't want to be an active father. So I have probably seen my dad maybe 2 or 3 times in my life that I can remember. So it was a huge void. So, I'm going to therapy really helped because we were able to pretty much process all the loss, and I was able to mourn him, like literally mourn and grieve over him like I was having a funeral. And ever since that season, I've been in a pretty good space about it. I think prior to that, like any movie, any show that like mirrored a beautiful father-child dynamic would just choke me up horribly. Like, when we talk about that scene from Will Smith when his dad left, oh my God, that was me. So, being able to process and mourn and grieve in therapy was life-changing. But, this recent news, I wouldn't say that it triggered me. It just kind of put it on my heart, and it made it more present. And it's not necessarily, like, around the absence of my dad. I think losing my grandmother, it kind of reminded me that entire side of my being, there's a disconnect. I don't know them. I don't feel any attachment to them. And of course there is a void, you know, because we all want to know all the sides of who we are. So I was reminded of that void this week, and then I've been sitting with the decision of if I'm going to attend her funeral and if I even want to share space with my dad, because I'm sure that he's going to be there. And if I did share space with him, what it would be like. So before I even jump out there and just kind of make that decision, I'm checking in with myself about what do I want, whether I want to go or not, asking myself why or why not. And if I decide to go, what are my expectations? Am I looking for anything? Am I hoping for anything? Am I afraid of anything? Am I avoiding anything? So really checking in with myself. And then I think the thing that came up the heaviest is wondering what I will feel when my dad transitions. If I will feel sad, if I will feel anything, you know. we get to grieve and mourn over things that we never had. Thing that I've asked people in the past, like, how did not having your dad affect you? And then people would say, well, I never had him. I never, lost anything. You can't miss something that you never had. And that's not true. I think you can. There were so many experiences that I really wanted to have. This one vivid one that I used to think about often was like my dad teaching me how to tie my shoes. So I've gotten away from romanticizing that relationship because we can do that when a person isn't present or when a person has moved on or past transitioned. Then we kind of sit with romanticizing. Oh, if they were here, it would be like this. If they were active, it would be so beautiful and we would be so deeply connected. But that's not always the truth. So I'm still thinking. I'm still working through it. I'm still processing it. I am just simply recognizing that when I heard that news, it shifted something in me. And it brought some things back up to the surface. And so I'm holding space for myself to process those things. And this is why my rituals and my routines are so important, because as a mom and a wife and a business owner, I think it's so easy for us to be triggered or for things to come up and we just keep moving, keep going, keep moving, and we don't acknowledge them until the pieces start falling apart around us, and then we are stuck trying to figure out what happened and why do I feel overwhelmed and what's going on. And so meditation has changed my life. It just helps me to acknowledge where I am and what I'm feeling, and it helps me to make clearer decisions about how I want to move through. And so that's my spiel. I know a lot of people struggle with meditation because they have an expectation around what it's supposed to be like. And I always hear people saying, my mind is just going. I can't keep my mind still or keep my mind quiet. But I would challenge you to not try to just kind of sit in all of the thoughts and all of the feelings and all of the emotions that come up for you. One of the things that helped me is like if my mind is jumping around and going from thing to thing. So I am still adjusting to this camera life. The camera died. So I was just saying, I would encourage you to try meditating with a journal and a pen and just kind of write what comes up for you if you find that you are continuously struggling with your thoughts. So that's one thing that helps. But that's my morning routine. That is my spiel. Let me know in the comments if anything I said today resonated with you. So fatherlessness, if you're struggling with holding space for your feelings and your emotions, let me know what your morning routine looks like. Are you honoring yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? Or do you feel like you need to do a better job? And if so, what would you incorporate? So thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Click the notification button if you want to be alerted when I make uploads. Thank you. Follow me on socials.